All right, so about to head to his house, but I thought I would do a little video presentation and pose the question. At the end of the day, this journalism thing, this reporting thing, it has its pluses and minuses. The plus side of it, I get to go out in the field and talk and meet people and, tally up information and bring back to y'all. But the plus side, you know what I'm saying? But the minus side of it is a lot of times you get people like trying to insult your intelligence. And then you have a lot of times where these boxers like to play games with you. And it gets nerve-wracking after a while. And they try to fool the public. And I just got to say this. Fanboyism is running rapid in sports. Whether it's LeBron James extremists, whether it's Caitlin Clark extremists, whether it's Tom Brady extremists, Michael Jordan extremists, even in boxing, you have Floyd extremists. You have now what I'm going to talk about is the Tank extremists. Tank is making himself look really like a diva, and Tank is beginning to become more unlikable. And you have fans that basically condone his type of behavior. So now basically what's going on is, according to reports, which I think this might be some bullshit, that Frank Martin has to undergo VADA testing, but Tank doesn't. So, if it's good enough for Frank, it's not good enough for Tank. And then Tank won't disclose whether he's taking random drug tests or not. And I had to sit through, I was watching the Best Fight the Best channel, and he had special guest Rachel Donaire, and I just text Rachel Donaire, and I just had a laugh with her because she was basically trying to explain to a Tank extremist who was trying to justify, Tank allegedly not taking random drug tests, but making Frank Martin take random drug tests and take VADA at that. And the dude kept asking the same questions over and over again, and no matter how, no matter how transparent Rachel Donaire was, the dude just kept asking the same question. And I didn't know why dude didn't get hung up on, because I would have hung up on the dude. I would have clicked him off and said, dude, she didn't answer the question like 5 different times, 5 different ways. She was transparent as hell, and you act like you didn't understand. But that's how a lot of these Tank, you know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of these Tank fans is. They just sit up there and try to justify this BS. And if Tank isn't taking any random drug testing, that looks real suspicious of Tank. Now, Tank might have some NDA where he doesn't want to disclose it, and he might be just, he might just be just BSing. He might be just talking out the side of his neck, but I think that would be extremely unfair. And if I was Frank Martin's camp, there's no way I would go for something like that. There's no way. And both of these dudes are supposed to be Al Haymon fighters, but then you've been hearing some stuff about Al Haymon. I don't want to disclose it because, that's a little too personal. But at the same time, I'm just looking at Tank like Tank just making himself look worse and worse. But he has extremists that will say, oh, he's the ASON, and he can do what he wants. He's selling all the tickets. And Tank himself just got through complaining about how bad the promotion is. Well, Tank, ain't you the promoter? Ain't you the co-promoter? Along with Man Down? And Tom Brown, ain't that his name? So that's on you. That's on you if you feel like the fight isn't being promoted correctly. You have to look at yourself, buddy. But that's typical for people to blame everybody else but themselves. And like I said, Tank's behavior is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just really, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just, I don't like to use that word classless, but that's one of the words that could be floating around. You know, classless, childish, acting like a spoiled brat. And see, that's what happens when fame goes to your head. So now Tank is, you know, acting like his, you know, ish don't stink. But I do think that Tank is undergoing some kind of testing, because that would be ludicrous. That would be ludicrous if Tank did no testing whatsoever, but Frank Martin had to do testing. And then Tank is on this fake stance, this fake, you know what I'm saying? this, I mean, it's just laughable that he's just on this fake grandstanding for Ryan Garcia, who Ryan Garcia is basically doing everything in his power to implicate himself and further show his guilt that, you know, he did something versus Devin Haney, which many of us with a half a brain or a quarter of a brain believe that he intentionally. But I'm gonna make the connection, and I'm gonna connect the dots. And I'm glad that a lot of fighters, or should I say some fighters, are starting to step forward in regards to cheating in boxing. David Benavidez just flat out said that Canelo was using roids at one time. At the end of the day, nobody really believes Canelo's story about those super burritos and the so-called contaminated meat. That was just something that he wanted us to believe. And then the WBC, they full of crap too. Rachel Denier, she exposed the WBC so-called clean boxing program. When people say they enrolled in the WBC clean boxing program, basically the WBC can administrate their own testing, but guess what? They can test you once every year, and it's not 24 hours. So now it's starting to look like what a lot of us is suspecting with the WBC. They're in on it, and basically they're trying to cover for their fighters, and particularly Hispanic fighters. So last week I did an interview with Coach Lopez, Chris Lopez, and he basically said it goes high up the scale, up the totem pole. So cheating is running rapid in boxing, and a lot of people just don't want to admit it. And like I said before, a lot of these people on here, they're not doing real work, no real journalism. They're not putting out real stories. They're just putting up a whole bunch of clickbait titles. And then some of these dudes, even when they get exposed for not being honest, they will still try to carry out a lie. They still will try to hide and make up something, just like these Ryan Garcia fans. Every excuse they tried to come up with to save Ryan Garcia's sorry ass, it got blew up into pieces. Well, hey, they keep saying he's the A side. Like, that just goes to show you how remedial these dudes is. I keep telling you, a lot of these dudes have a cult following to some of these fighters. And then Tank spasses out talking about F Vada, F, you know what I'm saying, Snack, F Terrence Crawford and all this. Like, dude, what is you talking about? What do Terrence Crawford have to do with you, bruh? What do Terrence Crawford got to do with you? What do anybody that, like, Tank is like, I mean, Tank is sounding like he's like, you know what I'm saying, showing early stages of roid rage. Like, dude, get out of here. Ryan Garcia just ain't there. Ryan Garcia, and from what I see, I heard that Ryan Garcia, from the pictures I've seen, that he had a, you know what I'm saying? He had a, he had a clapper on him. Now, I don't know if it was real or whatever the case may be, and it looked like it was in his back pocket. Now, why didn't the authorities take it from him? That's a question that needs to be asked. I don't know why they didn't seize his weapon, but it looked like he sure had a weapon on him. Ryan Garcia just ain't got it. But at the end of the day, they don't want a black man to be the face in sports, period. They don't want a black man to be the face of boxing. They don't want a black man to be the face of basketball anymore. They definitely don't want a black woman to be the face of the WNBA. They just really trying to force Caitlin Clark on us. The more they try to force Caitlin Clark on us, the more resentment that people is going to have for Caitlin Clark. And I don't know how many times I have to explain to the Powdered Milk Village, or to, you know what I'm saying, the Sambo, the Sambo community, the Sambo village. We don't have to like Caitlin Clark because you tell us to. We can say whatever we want to say about Caitlin Clark. We can criticize her. We have the right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you say anything remotely wrong about her, you criticize her in any type of way, then people come for you. You're jealous of what? Have y'all really seen how look, Caitlin Clark don't even look as good as the so-called non-straight women in the WNBA. Okay, so can we stop it? Caitlin Clark is not hot. Okay, can we stop it? Can we please stop it? She is not hot whatsoever. And I basically exposed all her flaws in that video. But yeah. But that's what you have now. You have a lot of, fanboyism and fangirlism. People really try to justify Tank being excluded from taking random drug tests. That just sounds absurd. But I think Tank might be pulling people's chains, because that would be absolutely horrible if Tank is not taking any type of random drug test whatsoever. You would really have to look. You would really have to look at not only the sanctioning bodies, you would have to look at everybody involved in this fight. You would have to be like, you got to be kidding me. And I wouldn't trust Tank whatsoever. So if Tank is not revealing, if he goes in there and knocks Frank Martin out, he gonna have an asterisk. He gonna have an asterisk, and I'm sorry. That's just gonna be real suspect. People gonna say, well, Tank has knocked people out before. And then it's gonna make me think, well, did he ever do random? This dude going on this fake tirade and this fake, this fake home front against Vada. Like, man, if that dude don't get his goofy, Tank is just acting like a real goofy, and that's just basically it. That's just basically it, and people just need to tell the truth. Nobody don't want to tell the truth. Nobody don't want to hear the truth. People this day and era, they just want you to lie to them. They just want you to make it sound good. They want you to say in whisper sweet nothings in their ear. They want to be lied to. They don't want to have accountability. So that's why I'm just taking back. What's next? And for Frank Martin's team to even agree to that. Like, what kind of contract Frank Martin signed? I mean, how did he even let them get away with that? Saying, oh, well, you got to take random drug testing and you got to use VADA, but I don't have to. I don't have to take random drug tests. It just goes to show you that if this the case, and I just got to say it, I know some of you Errol Spence fanboys or fun boys gonna be hurt, but that just goes to show you Tank is pimping Frank Martin out. He is treating him like he a $5 hoe that's willing to do anything for crack. And at the end of the day, he really pulled out a Shakur Stevenson fight that was gonna pay him over $1 million. And I heard that Frank Martin ain't even getting 300 racks for this fight. He really got played. You really went for all this you really turned down the chance to fight Shakur Stevenson, and then your fanboys are protecting, because I'm just gonna tell the truth about Frank. Like I said before, Top Rank ain't got no reason. So for all these people that's sitting up here talking about that they tried to play him, he would have he would have made way more money fighting Shakur Stevenson. He was offered up to like $1.2 million, maybe 1.3 at the max. And he got talked out of that fight by and he let them talk him out of that fight. Top Rank, 3 people from Top Rank said that they was gonna pay him over $1 million. What do they gotta lie for? It was gonna be his biggest payday. What do they gotta lie for? And now he's sitting up going through this. And this is what I'm saying. Y'all be killing me with this fake pro-black shit. This is what Goodfellas Sports be talking about, man. Y'all cool with this, with Tank doing this to another black man? Y'all cool with Tank treating another black man like he's some kind of hoe? Y'all, for real, y'all really okay with this? This is why people don't like me, because I call it right down the middle. Y'all be killing me with this fake pro-black shit. Y'all okay with Tank doing this to another black man? He didn't do that to Ryan Garcia, but he do this to Frank Martin. So Frank Martin got to take random drug tests, but Tank don't. For real? But then again, nothing surprises me, because Tank be sitting up here always sucking up the LA setback. And I ain't got no problem with Ellie, but Tank's just showing you who he is. Now, before you come on here and say, well, Tank has earned the right, fighting who? Fighting the buck? I mean, come on, man. Let's keep it a buck, man. Let's keep it a buck. Tank has not fought the best dudes out there. Okay? He hasn't fought the best dudes out there. And like I said, Shakur Stevenson, you better proceed with caution. Don't sit up there and leave Top Rank, and then you sit up here and sign with the PBC, and then they throwing everybody in the ring with you except Tank. So I'm just saying. See, nobody don't want to have no real. Nobody don't. I mean, for real, Frank. You really let them finesse you out of that Shakur Stevenson fight. You would have made fighting Shakur Stevenson. Frank Martin is not getting $1.3 million for this fight. Book it. Book it. And the reason why people get, and see, here's the thing, people get their dislike for somebody misconstrued with business. People will say, oh, it's cap because they don't like Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson then said some things that they don't like. See, the difference between me, yeah, if somebody says something I don't like, I can distinguish it from business. But at the end of the day, Frank Martin was going to make way more money to fight Shakur Stevenson. But instead, he sit up here and get handicapped in this fight with Tank, and then people is okay with this. But y'all so power to the people. Y'all so pro-black. Y'all so pro-black. Power to the people. But then here it is, Tank basically dogging out a black man. Basically pimping out and handicapping a black man to the fullest. But y'all ain't saying nothing about it. This is why I don't pay attention to these dudes. This is why, like I said, I'm my own entity. This is why I ain't part of no groups. Because nobody won't really say the truth. Somebody need to ask Tank that. And see, that's the thing though. That's why they wouldn't let me in. That's why they wouldn't let me cover a Tank fight. That's why they don't let me cover PBC events, because I would ask the tough questions. I would ask Tank, how in the hell that you have Frank Martin taking random drug tests, but you ain't? How the hell do you have him using VADA, but you not using it? But you saying VADA ain't good enough for you, but it's good enough for Frank Martin. But you say VADA ain't legit, but you making Frank Martin, like for real, man. Y'all really be buying into this stuff? Y'all really are puppets. Y'all really are zombies. I mean, it's amazing how stupefied that these boxers can turn you. I may be a fan of boxing, and I do like certain fighters, but I'm not a fanboy. Hey, block these two dudes. That's trolling my channel. Block these dudes talking about. Block them. Don't time them out. Block them. Some Hispanic. My channel, dude, because you finna get cooked. I really suggest you stop playing on my channel, because this block that dude for real. I mean, damn, don't you guys got something better to do than sit up trolling people's channels and all that stuff, man? But I'm just saying, like, I ain't even seen Canelo like handicap somebody the way Tank has handicapped somebody. So that's just crazy. And like I said before, I need people to explain that to me, that Tank is getting away with this kind of stuff. And the media isn't calling him out on this. But it just goes to show you that boxing is a very shady sport. And it just goes, but then again, they say boxing is a business. So maybe they correct. Maybe they correct. Because they damn sure ain't treating it like it's a business. And it's just amazing that Tank is getting away with this. I've never seen nothing like this before in my life, where somebody could say, hey, you got to take random drug tests, but I don't have to. And mainstream media is not calling them out. Boxing media isn't calling them out. Of course, the fanboys are not calling them out. Only people that's really, and here's the thing, I don't have no horse in the race, and I would be suspicious if anybody did this. And it's funny, you got guys that are actually trying to abide by the rules, that's trying to be on the up and up, and then you got dudes like this, like Tank, pulling this stuff. So to me, I'm not saying Tank is on something, but it looks real suspicious. Or as Baby Joker would say, you're making me suspicious. Yeah, tough guy. Yeah, tough guy. Tank look real suspicious. This has got to be as suspect as you get. Well, I don't trust. Well, you know, Timmy, I already know what's up with. Oh, Timmy, did you see that video on Box? Not what's it called? Boss Talk. Where basically, just on the side note, where basically this dude that used to be with MC Hammer, I remember who he was, but I think he sung on that gospel-like song MC Hammer tried to make. But he was talking about how MC Hammer didn't let the Crips like press him, because you know Michael Concepcion them tried to press Hammer. They basically tried to extort him, and Hammer didn't let himself get extorted. I've been trying to tell y'all about Hammer from High Street. But he basically, you know, he said, yeah, Hammer didn't let them LA dudes extort him. Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Boss Talk is out of Dallas. I listen to him every once in a while. I think that lady is his wife. But I don't really follow them that much. I'll listen to them every once in a while. I remember that lady, I don't think she FDA, and I think she was trying to hate on But yeah, y'all go check that out. Boss Talk. Check out what Homeboy said about MC Hammer. I've been trying to tell people about Hammer. Like, don't let them glitter pants and that dancing fool you. Hammer and his brothers, they was real savages. Real savages. Y'all better ask about the High Street Bank boys. Shout out to my hood, the Murder Doves, Nutty Block. But anyway, just on a side note, getting back to Tank though. Oh, the Ville. Shout out to the late great Seagram and the late and Felix Mitchell. You know. But yeah, man. But yeah, Tank looking real, like, you know what I'm saying? What's that word? World Comeback Sport use. Tank looking real strawberry right now. Like, Tank just really Tank just really on some diva shit. And like I said before, they need to be an investigation, and that's just real talk. Like, while people sitting up here talking about, oh, Tank the A side, he could do whatever he wants. Nah, they need to be an investigation. But then again, like I said, this could be, you know what I'm saying? This could be just some BS. It could be some BS. It could be just some stuff that they throwing out there. Because, as I said before, if Frank Martin let the PBC and the sanctioning bodies, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, let him sign a contract like that, then Frank Martin definitely needs to leave the PBC. And Frank Martin has no chance. And this just goes to show you that Frank Martin don't have a chance in hell of winning that fight on Saturday. This is showing you that it ain't even no. Yeah, and I'm gonna say it too. I don't care. It's not like hey, I'm just gonna say it. What's the use of buying this fight? If Frank Martin been handicapped like that, we already know what's gonna happen. The inevitable is gonna happen. Frank Martin is gonna lose the fight. I didn't think he was gonna win anyway, but if this is really going on where Tank don't have to take drug tests, but Frank Martin does, why are you even wasting your time spending $80 to watch this shit when you know what's gonna happen? If this ain't some WWE shit, I don't know what it is. And like I said before, yeah, I know I'm gonna make some more enemies because I already know the PBC don't like me. I just applied for PBC fights just for the hell of it because I know they ain't gonna credential me. But then this is what, so once again, all these years I sat up here and watched you niggas sit up here and call people coons and Uncle Tom and house niggas who spoke out about how the PBC treat and how they treat their people. For years, I got called a coon. I got called because I already knew what was up with them a few years ago. But you see how they don't respect their black fighters. Not only do they mistreat their black fighters, they interfere with them having an opportunity to take bigger and better fights and make more money. Now this dude Frank Martin did pulled out of a lucrative fight with Shakur Stevenson that was gonna pay him his biggest payday, only to go through this, to sit up here and have another black man do him like this. So where, like I said once again, where all you black niggas at now? Where you super militant Hotep niggas at now? Oh, I know where you are. You sitting up at home not saying shit with your non-black wives. Now listen, if you're married to somebody that ain't, that ain't black, that's fine. That's fine. You love who you love. But if you one of them dudes, you just like that dude on I'ma Get You Sucker. Shout out to the late great Clarence Williams. Y'all just like that dude. Talk all that super pro-black militant shit, and then y'all sit up there and be laid up with everybody but a black woman. So this is what they let get to other. This is what they let get did to other black people. This is how they treat their black brother. So Al Haymon's people allowed this to get done to Frank Martin. I'm going deep with it. I want somebody to answer that question. So the super pro-black Al Haymon, the super pro-black militant, power to the people, praise be Allah, because Tank is a Muslim. So this is how Abdul Wahab treat people. So this is what they allow to go on. And even if Tank is taking some kind of random drug testing, it's not a good look that he won't disclose it to the public. But that's the PBC for you. That's the PBC for you. That's your God. That's your God. That's your idol. That's your black ran organization that sat up there and let Tank do that to another black man. They make it not, even if Tank is taking some kind of random drug test and he won't disclose it due to a NDA, he's still making Frank Martin look weak. He making Frank Martin look destitute. He making Frank Martin, when I say look, he making Frank Martin look like a hoe, and so is the PBC. And it's just no other spin that you can put on it. Nobody don't want to say no real shit on here. Well, I guess I'll be the one to do it. I guess I'll be the one to do it because, like I said, none of these other so-called boxing outlets have the guts to say what should be said and question this. You have regular media that's supposed to be neutral, that won't question this. And then you have the super pro-black power to the people, you know what I'm saying, the man keeping you down that won't speak and call the PBC out for basically the mistreatment of Frank Martin. Frank Martin looks terrible. They've made Frank Martin look terrible. They've humiliated Frank Martin. And y'all niggas support Tank? Y'all niggas support Floyd Mayweather? Y'all really support these niggas? Make that make sense. Please explain to me why y'all continue to support these people, seeing how they poorly treated Frank. Talk that man out of a very lucrative payday. So what if he would have lost? But he sits up here, turns down a fight with Shakur Stevenson that was going to pay him his biggest payday, only to basically fight Tank and then basically get treated like a stepchild with, you know what I'm saying? Get treated like a stepchild with a handicap. I mean, they did, like, for real. They didn't humiliate it. And then to top it off, Tank don't even come to the fighter arrival. Oh, he's jogging. You know how disrespectful that is? But y'all pro-black niggas ain't gonna say nothing, because y'all always got an excuse. That's what make me different from everybody else. I bet you Tank would have showed up if it was some Mexican. I bet you he would have came to the grand arrival, but due to the fact that he don't have enough decency and respect for his opponent, he don't show up. And then he tweeting about, oh, the promotion for this is ass. Well, whose fault is that? I want that to sink in for all you Tank supporters, especially the ones that be talking all that pro-black shit, who talk all pro-black, who supposed to be hoteps. Power to the people. Y'all sit up here and say, oh, Tank from the streets. Tank got it out the mud. Tank got it from the mud. He speak my language because he from the streets. Well, here's the thing. But y'all the same niggas that'll say, oh, Bill shouldn't be glamorizing being from the, but you like it when Tank do it. So, see, the difference between Tank and Bill really is from the streets. See, that's the thing, though. Bill is a few years older than me. But I knew about Bill and his brother, you know what I'm saying, how much noise they was making in the streets of Oakland. But once again, that ain't my business to tell. That's Bill's business to tell. And I know, I see, here's the thing. This is how street Bill is. Bill got songs made about him. Bill got a whole fucking song made about him. I ain't gonna say who the artist was that made a song about him. Once again, that's Bill's story to tell. Bill had an artist write a whole song about him. And at the time, she was one of the hottest female rappers out. So if you got chicks writing songs about you, enough said. But that's what I'm saying about Tank. Tank is trash. I'm gonna say this again. Tank is trash. I don't give a damn if I ever do an interview with Tank. I don't care about Tank because the PBC, they a bunch of fake ass, disingenuous ass niggas. Every last one of them. Y'all talking all this power to the people stuff. Where these hoteps at? Where they at? Where y'all militant niggas at? Who love to talk about, hey man, don't talk about another brother like that, man. Al Haymon ain't no damn brother. The only color Al Haymon care about is green. My thing is with Al Haymon, like I said, I done heard something. I ain't gonna go too in deep on him. But my thing is, why does Al Haymon seem to make enemies everywhere? He done made enemies in the music business. He done got sued by Beyonce. He done made enemies in the music business. He done made enemies in boxing. So you have to ask yourself that question. Why does this keep happening? So I'm just saying. Everybody be coming on my channel. Hey man, don't talk about the black man and Al Haymon, man. Al Haymon is a brother. Al Haymon is a brother. Well, he sure don't act like it, man. Like Public Enemy said, man, and brother's gonna work it out. I think that was brother's gonna work out, where he say every brother ain't a brother. That's just real talk. Because if Al Haymon was a brother, he wouldn't let Tank treat another black man and Frank Martin like this. The unprofessionalism and disrespect for him to not even come to the damn grand arrival. And then for him to handicap Frank Martin. Oh, you got to take random drug tests, but I don't. Oh, I don't have to disclose it. I mean, the disrespect that this nigga Frank Martin has been shown by this nigga Tank is just like, wow. Wow. I would have to look that up. I would have to look that up, but I can give you a briefing on Al Haymon. Al Haymon started in the music bit in law. Now, I don't know if Al Haymon ever took the bar. He might have, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I first heard of Al Haymon when I was around 10 years old. Now, for the people that's like 40 and up, or maybe in their early 40s, Al Haymon used to be part of something called, this is how I first heard of Al Haymon. Al Haymon and somebody else used to have this thing called the Budweiser Superfest. And I think it ran from the like maybe 82 to like, I don't know, maybe 87. But every year they used to have a show in the Bay Area, the racist part of the Bay Area, I think it was called the Circle Star. I think that's what it was called, something like that. But it was the racist side of the Bay Area. When you go across the San Mateo Bridge, that's like the white supremacist part. That's like the part, if they see too many black people like walking around, they'll call the police. Trust me, I know. But Al Haymon used to put out something called the Budweiser Superfest. And he used to have all those 80s groups. I can't tell you exactly, but I mean, pretty much everybody that was hot from the 80s, like, you know, the SOS Band, Can Function, Shalimar. I know for sure that Atlantic Star and both Midnight Star used to be part of it. The Gap Band, all those people. Yeah, I think so with DeBarge. But then again, I don't know, because I think DeBarge was with Motown. Because DeBarge was with Motown. I don't know if Al Haymon used to do any business with Berry Gordy. But the Budweiser Superfest used to say Al Haymon and somebody else presents the Bud. I mean, you might can find an old commercial maybe on YouTube. But that's how I first heard of Al Haymon. So it used to be, and then the Budweiser Superfest, to a certain degree, I guess it kind of like transitioned eventually into Summer Jam. But yeah, Al Haymon used to do the Budweiser Superfest. So it was like all the funk bands and stuff. Like, I know for sure the Gap Band used to be part of it. Atlantic Star, Midnight Star, I think the SOS Band. And what's the people that I think maybe Evelyn Champagne King, those type of people. I don't know if Kachif or those type of dudes used to be part of it, but I know for sure it used to be the Gap. I know for sure the Gap Band used to be doing the Budweiser Super. If I'm not mistaken, the Gap Band might have used to be the headliner. Oh yeah, that's way before your time. Oh yeah, that's true. Those people that danced on Soul Train, they didn't get paid nothing but KFC. They got paid KFC and a soda. That's how that's how Don Cornelius got damn. But at the end of the day, he gave him an opportunity, so you have to take the good with the bad. A lot of famous people got their start dancing on Soul Train. People like Jody Watley, Alex Thomas. Who else? Quite a few people. Jeffrey Daniel. That's how they got discovered. That's how Shalimar came about. So, it paid off, And something else before I end this video. Jeffrey Daniel, not Daniels, he don't have an S. Jeffrey Daniel is actually the guy that invented the moonwalk, and he taught it to Michael Jackson. Hey, what's up, Rachel? So it was Jeffrey Daniels. So yeah, that's where I remember Al Haymon from. The Budweiser Superfest. Matter of fact, they used to play. That's how I first heard of Al Haymon. Remember, I'm 49. Y'all remember No Parking on the Dance Floor? I think that was Midnight Star. Because sometimes I used to get Midnight Star and Atlantic Star mixed up. But I know for a fact Atlantic Star sung that song "Send for Me," "Circle," and "When Love Call," and Midnight Star, I think, sung "No Parking." Well, it was one of them. Shit. Oh yeah. I'm a music historian. Oh, shout out to Rachel Donier, man. Oh, Rachel, I have to apologize for homeboy for being an embarrassment to black people, because you explained to him like 5 times in English like how drug testing works and how it works, and he kept asking the same fucking question. So shout out y'all show Rachel Donier show her some love. Go subscribe to her channel. Real good content. They from the Bay, so I always show some love for my people from the Bay. Hey, Rachel from the other side of the Bay, but Rachel, you still from the Bay though. You from the suspect part. You from the other side of the bridge though. But y'all show Rachel. Y'all go subscribe to her channel. Oh yeah. Rerun too. But yeah, but for real, that's how I first heard of Al Haymon. And that's what I'm saying about Al Haymon, how a lot of this stuff is just like, Al Haymon got a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to say, but I didn't heard some things, but he got a lot of stuff going on. You didn't see people say they've never met Al Haymon before. A lot of people used to think Sam Watson was Al Haymon, but I knew that Sam Watson wasn't Al Haymon, because the thing is, Al Haymon don't really come to fights. But Sam Watson is not Al Haymon. And Al Haymon is a real person. He's a real person. He's not like, some character from like that show, Jim, the cartoon Jim, like Synergy. No, Al Haymon is a real person. So there you have it. But anyway, appreciate you guys. I'll be back with more. I'm out.